so for this video, I'm going to rig the spine here and the hips. It's gonna be a little bit weird, but you'll see. And then we'll go on to the arms and other things. All right. So I'm gonna do the spine first, just because that's the weirdest one. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna use an IK handle, and you can see there's a lot of joints here. There's actually not that many. I actually prefer to actually animate this in an FK manner, but in this case I'm gonna go ahead and use a spline IK just so you can see it. But basically it allows you to draw a line through the middle, and then you manipulate that curve. It'll manipulate the joints underneath. Okay, so it's pretty simple actually. So we're gonna go skeleton, create spline IK handle tool. I'm gonna hit the option box. Uncheck root on curve. You don't want that on. Wait a minute, root on curve. Actually, leave that on there. Auto parent curve, turn that off. Auto create curve's fine. Number spans 1 is fine. Twist type linear as well is good as well. Okay. All you're gonna do is you're gonna go from the first spine joint, not the hips or the root joint. I'm gonna click here, and then I'm gonna go all the way up to the last spine joint, which is right here. Okay. Now what it's going to do is it creates a couple of things, and I'll show you real quick. Windows, I have to grab hierarchy. It's going to create these. So it has the IK handle. It has this IK handle, and it has this curve. Okay. The IK handle in this case is just like a holder of attributes, but it itself is actually, you can see I actually have the move tool on. It doesn't do anything, right? If I rotate, none of this. Scale, it doesn't actually do anything. It's the curve itself that does the controlling. Okay. So, which is partially what kind of makes it difficult to work with. So, just to give you an idea of what I'm saying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to go panels, perspective. So I have it on the same ones. But in this one, I'm going to turn my joints off, and I'm going to control these. Okay, so watch. As I control the pieces here, you'll see it bends this, and the skeleton tries to follow that curve, which is nice because it gives you a range of, like, you could try to, get like this S curve. Oops, that might be difficult to do with other solvers. Okay, so that's basically what you need to do. All right, let's go back over here. So so what I'm going to do is, in order to get to that, because you can see like the joints and the IK handles that are all in the way, I'm going to go to show, and I'm going to turn off joints. I'm going to go show, and I'm going to turn off IK handles, so that way I can get to this curve a little bit easier. And I'm actually going to call this the spine, just so that I know where it is. Spline IK underscore CRV. All right, just makes it a little bit easier. Really, you should be naming all these IK handles, but for lazy purposes, I'm not doing that. If you want to, good for you. I'm going to right click, go to control vertex, and I don't want to have to grab these vertices every time I do it this way. So I'm going to do is I'm going to make clusters. I'm going to select the top 2. Okay, you can see there's 4 total, and I'm just going to go deform, cluster, and I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Grab the bottom 2, and I'll hit G since this last thing I did. All right, so now I got 2 clusters, which is great, and that should be good. All right, so now we made the clusters that we're going to need in order to make our controller. So I'm going to go to show, and I'm going to turn joints back on. Now what I'm going to do for the waist here is make some controllers. So the hips, I think, actually kind of makes sense to go ahead and just use a circle. So I'm going to go to circle. All right, and I'm just going to go to W. I'm going to hold V, and okay, that didn't work. So I'm going to click on the middle there, hold V, and boom, and let's see, V, and I'm just going to make sure it's point snapped right there. I'm going to scale this bigger because I want it roughly the size of my dude. I'm going to hit 5 just so I can make sure that you want to make it selectable, right? So that looks okay. And I'm just going to call this the root controller underscore CRV. Beautiful. And we'll actually make that a little bit bigger, like that. And I'll command D, and I'll make a smaller one, which seems kind of weird, but there is a reason behind it. And this one's going to be called the I don't know if you can guess it, but it's the hips override controller. Okay. So one controls the hips, and the other controls the root, which basically controls everything. That looks okay. And now I need to grab up here. Now, if I just duplicate this and try to do it on this one up here, you can see it's kind of hard. It's actually not too bad, but yours might be weirdly shaped or whatever, so it might not work that well. So we're just gonna make a special custom controller for this chest part here. Just, you know, because I think it might be cool. So here we go. So I'm going to do this. I'm gonna go to the side here, and I'm going to go to create. And we don't need we might need this layer, but I'll just open it back up. I'm gonna go to create, curve tool, CV curve tool. I'm gonna hit the option box, make sure it's linear. And here we go. So I'm gonna hold X. I'm gonna go boom, boom, and then let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go 6. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, boom, 6. Okay, and then the B7, and then I'll do 6 from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And boom, and boom, and boom. And that's okay. I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm just trying to make like a neat controller that's a little bit easier maybe to grab. I'm going to switch, what am I, side view? I'm going to switch to a front view here. I'm going to hit F to frame, so I'll make sure I'm on it. And I'm going to go to show none, show NURBS curves, and show NURBS CV so I can see everything. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like, I don't know, we'll say however many, doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just do 6. Boom. And I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to go down and over and back. And then I'm just going to basically draw the same thing again. So I should be right on, gosh, okay, well, I'm just going to have to guess. X, boom, 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 boom. So I'm just drawing over top of this one again. This is all kind of weird, I know. All right, and I should have, good, something that looks like that. Okay, I'm just using the grid. It doesn't even necessarily make any sense. I just thought it would be cool. So I'm going to go modify center pivot. So I put the pivot in the center. I'm going to scale this up a little bit bigger. And I think actually might make more sense to actually rotate it. So I'm going to hold J and to do increment. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to move it back. And actually I'm going to pivot it right on, I'm going to hold V. Oops, grab it right here, hold V. And then I'm going to scale it up a little bit more. Alright, and then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go control vertex, and I'm going to hit 4 so I can see a little bit better. I'm going to grab this front part. I'm just going to pull this in front of the chest. And I'm going to unselect this part and push this part back. Alright, and then we'll just do kind of the same thing here. I'm going to take this, pull this out, unselect this, pull this one out a little bit farther. Kind of overcomplicating this for what it actually is, but I just thought it'd be nice. Okay, and then I'm just going to scale this way so it's not quite, but this way it'll be easier to grab that. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I just decided to, you could do it. But, you know, play around with it. Try to do something that makes sense to you. That might be easier to work with than this. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab this. Actually, I'm going to grab this one here, and I'm just going to go to the enable overrides on the thing here and just start changing some of these colors to make it a little bit easier to see. So we'll do yellow. I'm going to do this one. We'll do this one green because that always looks cool. And we'll do this one red again. Okay, good. Just so that they all have different looks and stuff. And I'm going to select all of these controllers, and I'm going to just do modify freeze transformations just to get rid of their values. Okay. I also got to rename this one, so we're just going to call this chest controller underscore CRV. Okay, good. So that's good. Those are good. We are good on that. All right. So now all we got to do is actually have these control things. So right now they're not actually functioning in any way. So here's what we need to do. So I want to take this and I want this to control this. Now I could parent it, but it's not a good idea to do that because it will, it's just not a good way of doing it. So I'm going to select the hips override controller, which is the inside smaller one. I'm going to hit Q so I don't have the manipulator. And I'm going to shift select the bone so it grabs the hips override joint. And I'm going to go to constraint, and I'm going to go to parent. I'm at the option box, and I want to make sure maintain offset is checked on, and I'm going to hit add. Okay. Now, if I click off and then click back on, you'll see it now. This will control that, which is pretty cool. Okay. Just the hips. Now this, I'm actually going to, so I'm select the hips override. I'm going to shift select the root controller and hit P, because this should move with the root. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the root controller. I'm going to hold Q, and I'm going to click on this so that I get the root joint, and I'm going to go to constraint, and I'll just hit parent since I already know what the settings are. Now what will happen is, and I think this actually, you might need to fix this afterwards, but you'll see that now that whole thing moves with it. Okay, which is good. All right, so I'm going to go to show. I'm going to turn joints off, and I want this cluster to basically make sure it's only the cluster, and I see I got a little bit more to make sure I only got the cluster. Okay, so we have to kind of click and just be real careful. Make sure it's only cluster. If you see a dot, 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 means you have other things. And I'm going to parent that to my hips override, P. Okay, I'm going to take this upper cluster. Come here, cluster. There you go. I'm going to parent that to the chest. I'm going to hit P. Okay, I'm going to take the chest. I'm going to parent that to the root as well. P. That way, when I rotate my, it'll rotate the chest with it. Okay. Otherwise, this would stay up here and you'd rotate and it would just be weird looking. So I'll hit 5. And now what will happen is when I go like this, it will move the upper one. When I grab the hips, it will move the spine a little bit with it, so it's a little more organic, right? He's got some sass. And that looks good. Now, one of the issues that we have, though, is I can twist my hips like this, but you see, especially up here, it's more obvious. You'll notice that when I twist this, it doesn't actually twist the body in any way. Because if you remember, we're only moving vertices, right? So when you move the vertices, it's going to work, but vertices are one dimension, which means they can't be rotated in any way. So what I need to do is I'm going to use an attribute of the spline IK and hook it up to this. So I'm going to hit 4 so I can see better. And I'm going to turn the spline IK back on. So I'm going to go to, not there, sorry. I'm going to go to show, and I'm going to turn the IK handles back on. And now I can see the IK handle. So I'm going to select this controller, because that's the thing I want to do the controlling. And then I'm going to shift select the spline IK handle. In this case, it's called IK handle 7. And I'm going to go to Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. And what I want to do is go from my rotate Y, which on this is my rotate Y, which is the yellow one here. So because of the twist, so I'm going to go from my rotate Y to this spline IK special attribute called twist. And what will happen is that this rotate Y will now drive that twist attribute. And so what you'll get is basically this nice little twist here, which is pretty sweet. Oops. Okay, good. All right. And now we have a fully functional thing here. Okay, and you can see we're getting there as far as the stuff is concerned. All right, so and you can also translate this as well, just so you know. There is limits though. Okay, so one last thing I'm going to do real quick is just clean up some of these attributes, things I don't need. So all of these, I don't care about the scale and the visibility. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to lock and hide selected. All right. That way they can't be adjusted, but they can be manipulated. All right. And at the end, there is going to be a bit of cleanup, but for now, we're not too concerned about it. Good. All right. So let's just, I haven't saved this at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and save this. Shift S, and we're just going to call this, make sure you're saving your stuff this whole time. I know I haven't been. I'm just going to call this rigging. Okay. And make sure you're doing versions. I know I'm not, but I'm a professional. All right. So we're going to call that good in the spine, and we will start the next video. I'll start working on the arms. Okay.